The story begins with a journalist named Laura Blacklock. She was pretty well known in her field, but some time ago, she was about to interview a woman. However, right before that woman could tell Laura the truth, she was drowned and killed. That's when Laura got a call from her ex, Ben Morgan. Laura didn't pick up the phone. Her colleague advised Laura to take a break. But then Laura explained something. There was a shipping heiress named Anne Lingstad who had stage 4 cancer, and her husband was opening a foundation in her name. He was taking all the board members on his massive yacht for a fundraising gala, and he wanted Laura to come and cover it. Laura arrived at the location. As soon as she stepped onto the ship, she was asked to take off her shoes. Laura didn't know much about the etiquette of these expensive yachts. The yacht's chief steward, Carla, told her that her cabin was number 8. Anne's doctor, Mr. Mehta, was also there. Laura greeted Anne as well. Turns out, Ben Morgan was there too. That's why he'd been calling Laura. Laura went to her room. From the room next door, a cigarette from a woman smoking landed on her balcony. Laura tossed it in the trash. That evening, Anne's husband, Richard Billionaire, welcomed everyone aboard the yacht. He said that Anne couldn't join them today because she wasn't feeling well. She would join them tomorrow. That's when an old, popular singer made her entrance. Laura said, "My mom is a huge fan of yours." Later that night, as Laura got ready and stepped out, she saw Ben coming from behind. To avoid him, Laura ducked into a room. There was already a girl in there. Laura then went to dinner. They were served a high-end meal. But after dinner, Anne's head of security, Sigrid, took Laura to see Anne and wanted to meet her, and told her, "I've seen your work. I really liked it." In fact, Anne was the one who had invited Laura there. Anne's condition was very bad because she had stopped taking all her medications. She just couldn't do it anymore, and showed Laura the speech she was going to give at the gala. Reading it, Laura realized that Anne was planning to donate all her money to the foundation. She called it settling up. She said, "I want to give back as much as I've taken from the world." And her husband would have no control over this foundation, and said, "Let's meet tomorrow." But that night, while sleeping, Laura started having nightmares about the last incident she'd been through, in which a girl was drowning in water. When Laura woke up, she heard sounds coming from the room next to hers. It sounded like someone was beating up a woman. Laura stepped out onto her balcony and looked. A woman was floating in the water. Laura immediately called the chief steward. A code red was declared on the ship. Someone had gone overboard. The ship's captain met with Laura. Laura said the woman was probably from cabin number 10. The ship's crew woke up all the other guests. A man named Lars Jensen wasn't in his room. A woman named Heidi wasn't in her bed. She was sleeping in her bathtub. Lars Jensen was in the library. The ship's captain told Richard everything. Laura explained to all of them that the woman was about her height and had blonde hair. But the ship's captain said, "There was never a guest staying here. The guest who was supposed to be here canceled 2 days ago." Laura insisted, "There was blood on the balcony glass." But the blood was gone too. Laura started searching her trash for the cigarette she'd thrown away. But it had disappeared. All the guests were still on the ship, so the search was called off. Everyone went back to bed. No one believed Laura. Everyone thought it was just her imagination. The next day, Laura's internet stopped working on the ship. There was some glitch in the ship system. Laura went to Richard and told him, "I definitely saw a woman last night." She wanted to check the ship's crew to see if that woman might be one of them. Richard had the entire ship's crew lined up in front of Laura. Laura looked at all of them, but the girl wasn't among them. After that, Laura went to see and so they could continue their conversation from yesterday. But Anne said, "I'm not feeling well today. My medications make me weak. If I rest a bit, I'll feel better." Laura told Ben, "I definitely saw that woman." Ben asked, "But why did you go into her cabin?" Laura explained, "I went there trying to avoid you." Laura started looking through the photos Ben had taken, hoping to find a picture of her. She found a photo of that woman on Ben's laptop, but Ben had taken this photo months ago. Despite Ben trying to stop her, Laura showed the photo to Richard and said, "This was the woman in cabin number 10. She asked Richard, "Who is this woman?" But no one recognized her. There was also a man named Adam in that same photo, but he didn't recognize her either. Anne's doctor then said, "I know you witnessed a murder just 2 months ago, where a girl was drowned and killed." The doctor said, I think what you saw yesterday was just the effect of that trauma. But to reassure Laura, Richard started trying to track down the woman from the photo. He booked a spa appointment for Laura so she could relax a bit. But while Laura was showering after the spa, someone wrote, "Stop," on her shower door. Laura started asking around about who had come inside. Adam was there too. Laura asked, "Was it you?" Laura noticed a CCTV camera there, but the ship turned off the CCTV cameras after guests arrived to protect the privacy of these high-profile guests. When Laura went to shower again, she saw her own hair going down the drain. Laura grabbed a plastic bag and carefully made her way from the ship's balcony toward cabin 10. It was an extremely dangerous move. Her shoe even fell into the water. But Laura found blonde hair in the drain of cabin 10's wash basin. She took it and showed it to Ben, saying, "Whoever's hair this is, she's the one who fell in the water. This isn't my imagination or anything." But Ben stopped her from getting involved in all this. He said, "If we don't find out about that woman in the photo by the time we get off this ship, I'll personally go with you to the police station and file a report myself. Just drop this for now. The people on this ship aren't ordinary people. You don't want to mess with them." So Laura went and hid the hair back in the drain. After that, during lunch, Laura talked to Lars Jensen. Lars had an AI facial recognition tech company that Richard had invested in. Then Richard started giving a speech about his wife, and he got emotional while delivering it. After that, everyone enjoyed the singer's performance. The singer started reminding Anne of a duet they had done years ago, but Anne left because she wasn't feeling well. Laura also started wandering around the ship. She went and showed the girl's photo to the crew members, asking if any of them had seen her. But they hadn't. Laura asked, "How easy would it be to smuggle someone on board without the crew seeing?" The ship's crew said, "We don't think it would be right to answer that." Dr. Mehta saw Laura coming from the cruise area. Laura said, "I was just walking around the ship." Laura found a broken button from someone else's clothing in her room. She took those blonde hairs from the wash basin and hid them in her coat. But right there on the ship, someone pushed her from behind. Laura fell into the pool. Then they covered the pool so Laura couldn't get out. Through the glass, the other people saw Laura screaming in the pool. Laura told everyone, "Someone pushed me. Someone is trying to kill me." But no one was believing her. Seeing a button missing from Dr. Mehta's shirt, Laura said, "Were you in my room?" Laura ran to the laundry room to find her coat. Now the blonde hair wasn't in it. Laura got angry at Ben, saying, "Only you knew about that hair, no one else." Ben said, "I'm sorry. I was the one who told the others that you had evidence, so they would believe you." Meanwhile, on the other side, the singer got scared and left the yacht, saying, "That girl Laura is crazy. I can't get involved in this mess." The others were also angry at Laura, thinking she was creating drama for no reason. Her crazy mind had just made the whole thing up. But that night, as Laura sat in her room, someone knocked on her door. Laura looked outside and saw someone passing by. Laura followed them. She kept following them deep into the ship, past all the machinery, and right in front of her, that girl appeared, alive. The girl said, "Look, you've seen me now. I'm alive. Just drop this." This was the same girl who had written "Stop" during Laura's shower. But she wasn't the one who pushed Laura. She said, "He will kill you." It was revealed that this girl was Anne. She knocked Laura unconscious. She took Laura and hid her somewhere. When Laura woke up, she tried to escape from there. But the door to get out was way too high up. She couldn't reach it. Lying there, Laura figured everything out. The girl she had seen wasn't Anne, but someone else. And she'd been acting like Anne ever since that night. The woman she saw floating in the water was the real Anne. Just then, that girl came there too. Laura said, "I know you're not Anne. You didn't know that and had stopped taking her medications." Laura understood that Richard was in the room next door that night. He had found out that and was disinheriting him. This girl, Carrie, explained, "I was only meant to pretend to be and for one day, to meet with the lawyers and sign the will." Actually, Richard had used Lars's AI recognition software to find a woman who looked like Anne. He invited her to that party in London and offered her money. But the two of them were seen together in cabin 10 by the real Anne. Richard tried to calm the real Anne down, but during the struggle, Richard killed her. He threw her out into the water and also cleaned the blood from the balcony glass. Carrie couldn't do anything. She didn't want any of this, but she had to go along with Richard because she had to take care of her daughter. Laura tried to reason with her, saying, "He's just using you. After the contract is signed, he won't let you live either." But Carrie chose to follow Richard's plan. She appeared in front of everyone as Anne. They all enjoyed the fireworks. Laura could hear their sounds from inside the ship. But when Ben went outside Laura's room to meet her, Dr. Mehta came out of the room saying, "Laura isn't feeling well. Let her sleep for a bit." Dr. Mehta and the ship's captain were both working with Richard. They were searching for Laura on the ship. But Dr. Mehta was scared. Richard reminded him how he had helped Dr. Mehta 3 years ago. Carrie was listening to their conversation. That night, after Richard fell asleep, she went to Laura. Laura told Carrie to go to the police. But if Carrie did that, the police would arrest her too. And then what would happen to her daughter? Carrie told Laura, "They're looking for you too. In 2 hours, our ship will dock." Carrie was leaving after opening the door. Laura said, "Don't sign that will. I'll save you, I promise." But Carrie left. 2 hours later, all the guests started getting off for docking. Dr. Mehta was looking for Laura, but she hid. Ben got off the ship once. But leaving without Laura didn't feel right to him. He said, "I'll come back later." Meanwhile, Laura came out and took Anne's real will from her drawer. She tried to use the ship's radio, but just then Dr. Mehta showed up. He had an injection in his hand. Laura ran away from both him and the ship's captain. But they both cornered and caught her. The doctor was about to give her the injection when Ben arrived. And the injection ended up in him instead. Ben collapsed from the injection's effects. Dr. Mehta grabbed Laura's throat and started choking her, when Ben got up and helped her again. Ben died while trying to stop Dr. Mehta. Laura jumped off the ship. But the ocean water was freezing cold. She somehow managed to swim to shore, but the cold had left her in terrible shape. She went inside a house and lit some wood. Meanwhile, Dr. Mehta told Richard that Laura wouldn't survive in that freezing water. Richard said, "Carrie is about to sign. After the gala, you make her disappear too." Carrie, pretending to be and explained her change of heart to the lawyers and signed the papers. Richard gave her a dress for tonight's gala. But Laura also quietly made her way there. She met Anne's head of security, Sigrid. Laura told her, "And is dead. The person in front of you is someone else." And was going to disinherit Richard, so he killed her. Laura showed Sigrid Anne's real will, saying, "This is her real will." Sigrid said, "This is insane." To prove it, Laura showed up at the gala. As Richard stands on stage giving his speech, Laura suddenly gets up and walks onto the stage. She takes the microphone and starts to speak. Carrie says, "Let her speak." But at Richard's command, the security guards rush in to take Laura away. However, the crowd begins to support her. They said that if and wanted Laura to speak, then she should be allowed to. In front of everyone, Laura reveals Anne's real will, showing how Anne wanted to donate all her money to the foundation. Richard quickly orders the microphone to be cut off. But Laura doesn't stop speaking. Carrie also confirms that what Laura is saying is true. Richard then yells that this woman isn't even the real Anne. Laura looks him in the eye and asks, "Then where's the real Anne? What did you do to her?" Suddenly, Richard grabs Carrie and holds a knife to her throat. He drags her away, heading toward the dock. He plans to escape by boat, but Laura follows him. From a distance, Sigrid spots Richard and shoots him. Even after being shot, Richard tries to kill Carrie. That's when Laura rushes in and stabs him with his own knife. After everything, Laura completes Anne's story, revealing her kindness and truth to the world. Carrie continues to live safely with her daughter. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end. If you like this explanation, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you again in another story just like this one.